Hello, everyone, and welcome to Deconstructing Politics. My name is Eli.
My name is Emerson.
Oh my god, they're back. How did you get back in here?
I don't know. I'm really surprised they even let me back
Where,
after the last episode.
After the swearing episode?
Oh, I didn't do that.
No.
No.
Where's Tommy? What'd you do with him?
I told you last time I ate Tommy.
He's gone. Okay. All right. I guess we'll do the show. Well, in today's news, some very interesting stuff. Joe Biden officially dropped out since our last episode. So
Yeah.
That's insane. I remember we were all together for YDSA stuff when it happened, and there was literal screeching in the building.
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement.
Yeah, I mean, just a huge development, very historic. A sitting president has not dropped out of the presidential race since Lyndon Baines Johnson. I guess you could count Nixon before that, but he resigned. And so this is insane. And now it seems Kamala Harris is the ordained successor of Joe Biden. I think she already secured all of the delegates she needs to be the presumptive nominee. So it's going to be real coconut tree hours.
Stop.
You exist in the context of all that you live and all that came before you.
Oh my goodness, there's been so many like memes and stuff going around about like the whole coconut tree, and like I've seen apparently there's a new thing like where it's like Swifties for Kamala.
Yes.
And they started like remixing versions of Taylor Swift songs to like say things about like the coconut tree, and I was like, stop, we need to stop.
See, this is what happens when you get Gen Z actually kind of like interested in a candidate, like even a little bit. It's going to be constant memes. It's going to be all this sort of stuff. My TikTok is full of Kamala. There's Kamala everywhere, coconut trees everywhere. It's insane. And now we're seeing the Republicans really scrambling.
Oh yeah. I mean, I when Biden was like the candidate, I feel like the Republicans were just like, oh, we've got this. There's, but now it's suddenly like he dropped out, and now all of the young people are just like ready to jump on the Kamala train, and it's suddenly like they've just like tides have turned like 100%.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I was a Trump staffer, this is the last thing I would have wanted. If I was in their place, this is really bad. They've been panicking. They're talking about like legal disputes to make sure Kamala can't get all of the money from the Biden-Harris campaign, which is not going to work because it was made out to Biden and Harris. There's been a lot of talks of like Trump is now getting like weird and saying he doesn't like trust that his VP candidate choice was good. Maybe JD Vance isn't the best. They're just in like full scramble mode.
What are they gonna do? Just like unpick the VP? Like Donald Trump's just gonna be like, actually, I changed my mind.
Actually, yeah, no, they totally should. We had a presidential nominee like drop out. We need like a vice presidential nominee to drop out.
Maybe they can just assassinate him. Maybe
they could. That's what we're talking about. We need to start normalizing assassination. Not actually FBI. If you're still here in Milwaukee, not actually.
Not actually.
It's fine. No, we're not doing that. But it's really interesting. And now Kamala Harris is already the first poll that came out, leading Trump by 2 points. She's already up in the polls. She has I think they raised like an insane amount, like 40 million in the first day that she was announced as like the going to be taking over for after Biden. So it is like massive amount of excitement. I mean, I'm a socialist, but I'm gonna be all wine mom for a second. This has gotten me kind of hopeful. This is and like, oh my god, we're actually kind of back. It's definitely exciting. We're gonna see how it turns out, like where we go from here. And especially who she picks as her vice presidential nominee, because there's some concerns with Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who compared pro-Palestinian protesters to the KKK, and made many other anti-Palestinian crazy statements. So that would be an awful pick for young people.
Yeah, that would be. Okay, I would like to know what your opinions on like Kamala Harris is like, or would you vote for her? Like,
that's a good question. I think I'd be much more willing to vote for her She already came out and saying we're still gonna support Israel, but like
Yup.
kind of starting to shift on like what that support is. If she makes like more of a break and starts recognizing the genocide going on, recognizing the UN court, all that sort of stuff, if that starts to happen, I'd be in a much more comfortable position. I'm definitely more willing to vote than I was previously, where I was honestly going to sit out the election and just focus on activist work because it's still a really horrible situation to be in. Kamala Harris is not great either. Her record as AG in California, I mean, you're still a state AG, so that's a lot of putting people into jail for drugs. It varies of how many people she put away and like all that sort of stuff, but it's still she was a cop. Kamala was a cop. She is still like a more maybe less moderate than Biden, but she's still like a Democrat. And you have all that baggage that comes with it.
Yeah. Well, and that was the reason that I was asking, because I know personally, like, originally when I heard that Biden dropped out, and I kind of figured that Kamala was going to be like, the next, like, Democratic, what do they call it, like electee nominee. There we go. And originally I was like, oh yes, like I'm gonna vote now, like I'm like actually kind of excited to vote. And then I did a little research and thought about it a little more, and I was like, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna vote still. Like the whole just like Kamala had just as big of a part in this whole genocide as Biden had, and that was the biggest point of like why I wasn't going to vote originally, because I was just like, it's between Genocidal Joe and Donald Trump, and it was just like Kamala Harris is not much better. So it's that's kind of like where I'm at with it, where it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the major thing she has to do if she wants to win back voters from people like you and me who are really considering or even decided to not vote in this cycle, is to really start to change the messaging, change the tone right now in the White House, and being like, yeah, no, this is a genocide, or like there are human rights atrocities. There are like, talk about it more. Talk about like the atrocities that are being committed, because every single time it's always like, well, there's some devastating scenes coming out of Gaza, without talking about who's perpetuating those scenes, and not really saying and calling it as it is, that there is a massive genocide happening right now. If Kamala does that, that would be a great step forward. It's definitely not enough when it comes to Palestine. There's a lot more that needs to happen. But even just recognizing the atrocities that are happening, I think could do a lot for people.
Oh, 100%. I would agree with that. I feel like I would be definitely more willing to vote and vote for her if she, would do that. And it really depends on who her running mate is. I still want Gretchen Whitmer for VP. I was a little disappointed, though. I was on Twitter earlier today, and Gretchen Whitmer, not disappointed, but like a little disappointed, because she endorsed Kamala Harris, and I was like, no, I want you.
Yeah.
I'm still holding on to Gretchen Whitmer for 2024.
Me at night, stroking my framed photo of Gavin Newsom.
Stop.
Wanting my California silver fox daddy.
No.
Where is he?
Nowhere. In a framed picture where he will stay.
If Kamala doesn't win, at least I got to look forward to him in 2028. Daddy Newsom.
Sure.
He's so hot. I'm sorry. It's not even like, okay, like policies wise, Gavin Newsom is a ghoul. He's one of like the most ghoul Democrats too. Like he's awful in California, but he's just so hot, and I think it's funny.
So what I'm hearing is that when you become a Make-A-Wish kid, that's what we're gonna make a wish for you to.
Oh, you know it, dude. Dude, if I could get a selfie with Gavin Newsom, oh my God, I'd look at that every night and have amazing thoughts about it, because he's first DILF in the White House.
I'll have to pull some strings for your birthday or something.
Yeah. Just like all of a sudden Gavin Newsom walks into Zao like, hey guys, oh my God, it's Gavin Newsom. And I'm just going to like cry and piss my pants and bawl,
For context, for people who don't know what Zao is, that's where YDSA and the Milwaukee DSA holds their meetings. So if you ever want to join the DSA, or if you're young, YDSA,
yeah, Milwaukee,
please do.
Yeah, come out.
Gotta plug that,
yeah, you gotta plug it.
Can we plug River West Radio too?
Yo,
round of applause for
shout
River
out
West
for
Radio.
River West Radio for hosting us and giving us all this wonderful space and equipment to do our funny little show here, our little scrappy leftist show. But yeah, no, it depends on the running mate. And kind of returning to this original topic, like Josh Shapiro would be a horrible pick. Like choose the guy that like compared our people to KKK people, like that would just completely return us to the place we were in with like just being done with Biden and the genocide.
Anybody with the last name Shapiro, do not trust. Ben Shapiro, nope.
Yeah. It sucks that he's from my home state of Pennsylvania. That's where I was born. I love that state. I've thought about moving back. It's so unfortunate that he's the governor.
Yeah.
I almost slipped up there. But it's unfortunate. But I think that would really depress. I think Tim Walz, who's the governor of Minnesota, has had just an amazing policy track record, and Minnesota is one of the better states to live in because of it. Just an amazing man, pretty progressive, very pro-union on the side. He'd be my pick. That or J.B. Pritzker.
Mm-hmm.
Those are those two big guys in there. I would love to see, but. Here's hoping. Apparently, there's another dark horse like Andy Beshear, who's I believe, governor of Kentucky or South Carolina, one of the two. One of those red states that has a Democratic governor for some reason. And he's just fantastic. And especially because they want a white guy. He's the whitest guy ever.
Why do they want a white guy?
It's
like it would be such a smarter move for her to pick a woman. Having two women and for president and VP, like... I mean, that would be almost hard to say no to.
We do still live in America where there are people going to be like, well, there's a black woman running. Where's my white guy?
That is very true.
Like that's how Joe Biden became VP in the first place, because he was just the old white dude to pair with a black guy. So I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. Andy Beshear, he has this family photo where he has just the whitest family you could ever imagine. It's like one of those family photos where they're all wearing white dress shirts and white dresses and everything in their like nice living room and stuff. It's insane. It is it is so cracker coated. I love it so much. But I think he'd be a solid pick. He also has not said anything. He hasn't had any bad statements on Palestine. He's just also pretty good when it comes to being statements and like when it comes to gun control, all that sort of stuff. But we'll have to see. I think we're going to find out very soon in the coming months, especially at convention, because they just don't have time.
Yeah.
So, well, in other news of chaoses, Microsoft pooped itself.
It did. It did.
So do you know anything about that? Did you read those articles?
I read some of them. So basically, like Microsoft, I think, what was it, like put out an update that just like for like companies and stuff, that just like completely like blue screened like tons and tons, like airports and stuff like that. And like I saw pictures of like places in like New York where they have all those like lit up like billboard signs that were just like displaying the Microsoft like Windows error or whatever.
Yeah,
it was bad. And I think wasn't it Tommy's like or Charlie's sister or something like that was trying to fly home that day or something, and her flight got canceled like 5 times. It was somebody that we knew like got like super impacted by it. I'm like, just like imagine that. Imagine getting stuck in the airport because somebody behind a computer desk hit the wrong button.
Oh God, I was already stuck in an airport a couple of times on my way to Portland. I can't imagine just being at an airport. Being at an airport in general is one of the worst things. Let me just like, everything's a hallway, everything is stores, everything's overpriced. I have a double vodka like soda and it's like over $20 just for that. No, they're horrible. I'd hate to be in them. But that is insane what just happened with that whole crash. I think it's mostly fixed now. Shout out and prayers to our fallen troops, the IT guys that had to go into work the next day.
Oh my goodness.
Could you imagine? Yeah, repair every single computer and everything in the office.
That I can't imagine that. I'm sure. I wonder if it was just like the fault of like one guy or if it was like a whole team of people. Like either which way, they're all getting fired.
Yeah, like apparently it was the like their cybersecurity software they would use on all the Microsoft computers is the one that pooped itself, and it like blue screened everything. And apparently it's a very popular service for like almost all the companies and stuff in the in the country. So like if you were a business, if you were like a government like entity, like all of your computers are gone. All the computers gone.
We forget sometimes too, like how much we use technology and how important it is to us until we don't have it. Like people, like I saw people like I've saw it more from like the airport side than anything. So it was like I was seeing people like who had like literal like written tickets because like they just couldn't print them, and like it Yeah, and I think it was like the airplanes too run on like the same Microsoft whatever. So it's like you can't start your plane.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere. Your computer is down. Everything is down. Your ticket to get there is down. The stuff to track your stuff is down.
Yeah, like it's not even that you can just like run things the old-fashioned way where you write stuff down or whatever. It's like literally everything that you use is technology, and if it goes takes a poop, like you're screwed.
Yeah.
Can I say that on the radio?
You could say poop. I think we can
screwed.
say poop.
Can I say that?
Screwed? Maybe.
I think so. Sorry if that's offensive to anyone.
Yeah.
I didn't technically say a swear word.
I love these episodes without Tommy because it's just us getting just doing being little gremlins in the booth.
We need Tommy back. I miss being in the background and just listening to Tommy and you yap.
I miss my husband. I miss him. Can you bring him back to life?
Yeah. Let me just get on a plane and go over to wherever he's on a cruise and go grab him. Oh wait, sorry, I can't.
Oh,
the planes are down.
Well, okay.
Microsoft outage. What can I say?
Well, in other news, Trump had a meeting with Netanyahu.
No. He hasn't had the meeting with Netanyahu.
He is meeting
in Mar-a-Lago, I think, or sometime this upcoming week or next week, something like that. I think I just saw that Netanyahu, or it was Trump. Somebody flew into Mar-a-Lago.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, that's insane. I mean, very telling that Netanyahu wants to meet with Trump. We've all known for a long time that Netanyahu wants Trump to win. He's the preferred ally of Israel to even Biden, which is insane because Biden has been licking boots for so long, and Kamala may or may not be better. So he wants Trump, and this is just more solidarity with far right nationalist politicians loving each other because they, Trump's down for. I think Trump's fully down for the Palestinian genocide, all the racist stuff he's said about Muslims and just in general. So
I mean, he was the one who put a ban on flying to and from Middle Eastern countries.
Yeah, the Muslim ban. Yeah, it's so why is Biden falling on this sword? Why are Democrats falling on this sword? Netanyahu does not care about you. He doesn't even like you. He wants the far right nationalists in power in our country, despite the fact that they're kind of very anti-Semitic themselves. But because they will give that full support, Trump would be all in for sending more arms than what we do.
Oh, 100%. Like that is one thing that I am absolutely terrified of if Trump gets in. I'm just scared that he's just going to send every piece of army equipment, bombs, guns, nukes, whatever it takes, and just absolutely massacre the Palestinians. And it's just I am just absolutely terrified for anyone in that situation.
It's really a scary thought, and it's we already have people that are funding a genocide. It's pouring gas on the fire. So it's a very telling news. We're gonna see how that meeting goes. But yeah, once again, all these far right groups, and I was recently talking to someone who didn't know what CPAC was, and they're like, why are conservatives across the globe interested in meeting with each other? Isn't their whole thing the seclusion of their own countries? And the reason for that is because there's now this rising dominant theory of far right Christian nationalism that they're pushing that is expressly anti-democratic. It is fascistic. And that's their way of supporting each other and having that international support so that they can bring that kind of ideology into their countries. Because all that ideology does is, one, oppress people. I mean, we all know that. I think that goes without saying. But also it helps the capitalist and owner class. It helps the people that are already making way too much money in our countries and across the globe. That is their MO. So that if they can help each other, the more far-right nationalist parties are in power in other countries, that helps them in general. And with Donald Trump, I mean, he is almost at the crux of it. I mean, we really saw this in 2016. You had Trump, and then you had the rise of the far right, the rise of the Christian nationalist right. So he is kind of the epicenter. So I'm not surprised that Netanyahu is visiting. Viktor Orban. My favorite little gremlin Liz Truss came here. It makes sense. It's a coordinated effort. It's an international coordinated effort to
100%.
spread that ideology.
Yeah, I really do kind of wonder sometimes what goes down in these conversations that they have. What kind of behind closed doors deals they're making and all types of crazy stuff. I'm sure that there's tons of things that like I said, go on behind closed doors that we as the American people just don't see, like, on a day-to-day basis. And I would love to be in the room where it happens.
The room where it happens, the room where it happens, the room where it happens. No, I would too. Yeah, there is so much that happens in that room where it happens. And there are so many of those conversations that Liz Truss, like Viktor Orban from Hungary, and I bet Netanyahu are going to be talking with Trump because, like I said, it's a coordinated effort from the far right. So it would be fascinating to see, but I think what they are talking about is only bad things for the working class and minorities in every country.
I agree. Speaking of Donald Trump, though, did you see? Well, I guess kind of speaking of Donald Trump, his Secret Service director or the Secret Service director, resigned / kind of got kicked out of out of her position after the whole Trump assassination attempt. Did you see that? Yeah,
I did see that. I actually watched some of the hearing, and it was a really sad affair. It was essentially the former Secret Service director basically saying, yeah, we messed up. Like, there's no excuse for it. Like, in all intents and purposes, this was a massive mess up and just incompetency from the Secret Service. Like, they're the ones that messed up, and especially under her watch. So, I mean, this is what we were talking about last show. Like, I don't think... I didn't think it was like a conspiracy or anything. Like, they just messed up that bad, so now she's gone.
No, but that's like the conspiracy theory side of it, though, is that, like, why? Because the Secret Service is supposed to be top of the line, like, absolute best of the best. Like, you are protecting the former president and all of these high-classed, very, very important people, and it's like, I mean, I'm pretty sure some of the people I went to basic training with could have done a better job protecting Donald Trump. I mean, as much as, like I said, like, I don't like the guy, but it's still like, okay, that is your job, is to protect him. And, like, you didn't see a guy on the roof for 30 minutes, saw him walking around with a rangefinder a half an hour beforehand. Like, how?
Yeah, we're definitely going to be finding out as days come by about exactly what happened.
I think, though, that somebody on, like, Twitter said that they're not gonna. Yeah, so this was from Kyle Becker, the heads of the security service. I can English. Mm-hmm. Secret Service, FBI, and Homeland Security have all declined to testify in the White House on the shooting of former President Trump. I mean, I guess it's like testifying, but, like, still, like,
there will be.
I have a feeling that this, they're just going to fire her and they're just going to try to, like, push something else in the news and just hope people kind of forget about it,
Yeah, I think there will definitely be private audits. I think there's definitely going to be a lot of investigation and stuff. Like, the Secret Service is the Secret Service because it is very private. So there's going to be a lot of things we're not going to know.
It's a secret.
It's a Secret Service. But I think there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be audited and investigated, and they're going to find out. And it's going to be really interesting to see if we do find out, like, what they all found out about that day and what went wrong. But it's still insane. Like you said, like people from your basic could, like, do that job better.
Easily. Well, it's like, even, like, okay, I mean, what if they just, like, classify all the information, like, then it's just like, okay, well, now none of us get to know, like, really what happened. And
wait, no, not Panama. There is a thing for that. It's like the Freedom of Information Act, where you can, like, ask to get that released. So maybe
we would do that as, like, a YDSA, DSA.
YDSA,
like,
I forget get those. I want to know how he was shot. I want to know what his ear looked like in the hospital, actually.
Well, yeah, and I mean, I've heard so many, like I said, different, like, theories on it, and, like, a lot of people saying that it was, like, staged, or, like, that it were, like, more intentional,
Yeah, I don't get that vibe. I think I think it really was just incompetency or something going on in that sort of realm. I want it to be a conspiracy.
And I see, and there's a part of me where I'm like, I cannot believe that. I'm like, you can't be that incompetent. I mean, I can understand, like, maybe if he would have, like, gotten up to the roof, how maybe some incompetency could, like, have led to that, but it's like, you literally had a sniper looking at him, and that sniper took one shot and killed him. So I'm like, you're telling me that entire 3 minutes that he was on the roof and there were people, like, pointing him out, that nobody saw that, nobody thought, maybe I should shoot this guy? Like,
maybe, yeah.
I really do believe that is more than incompetency.
Maybe we'll have to find out.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on chemtrails, Emerson?
Chemtrails?
We should do a conspiracy segment someday.
That would be fun.
Next time Tommy's out of town, we'll do a conspiracy segment for
Tommy's
the show.
never coming back. I already told you.
Okay,
I
I'm
ate
sorry.
him.
This is the show now, guys. Next episode, 9/11. Did Bush do it?
Save that one for 9/11.
Save that. Oh no. Oh.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe not. That might be a little harsh.
Yikes.
Can we find out when 9/11 is? Is that on a Friday?
What do you mean? I was about to say, what do you mean when 9/11
no, okay,
is?
which day?
It's a Wednesday.
Oh, it's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Okay, never mind. Then maybe a few years down the line.
Assuming
we're still here.
Maybe
we got to do it on a Friday.
If we still have a show. I think we have a show.
We might not after
do
last
week. Do we have a show? Is the show existing? I think it does. Well, I mean, I think that's the point of these episodes. Tommy's gone. It's we're
fun.
gonna do our thing. It's a nice little chatty boxy.
Yeah.
I'm
not as politically I guess educated as Tommy and you are, so I feel like I mean I have some input, but it's very much from an outside perspective.
We are just massive nerds. I mean, we would not be so much involved in the stuff we are if we weren't just massive nerds about this sort of stuff. I talked with my coworkers about politics, and they were they literally had a segment where I was kind of talking about the British elections, and they were like, you know about the British elections? I was like, yeah. I was like, you can name a country and I can tell you which political party's in power and the power dynamics going on and the ideologies of those parties, and they're like, that's insane.
Yeah.
And it's just I am that much of a nerd. I know France. I know about Mongolia's 50 communist parties because they have multiple. They have there's literally a Wikipedia page that's just a list of their communist parties. I love it. I love that stuff.
Yeah, no, I barely know what's going on inside of America, so that's why we need Tommy back. Maybe I'll have to just regurgitate.
Yeah,
that's
bring him back.
Word. Yeah,
cough him up.
I'm sorry.
Oh God, he's back. He's here.
Tommy?
Tommy? Oh my God.
Should have called Tommy.
Just brought it. That would have been a good bit. Just brought him on for a bit.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's been really fun for the most part.
It's been a fun 2 episodes.
It's been a good 2 episodes. It's nice to have some yaplings. I hope it's amusing for listeners.
Stick around a little bit longer, and maybe in a few months, Emerson will come back.
Yeah, maybe we might see. Maybe Tommy's. We kind of just put him out to pasture every now and then. It's just joking, Tommy. We love you. I know he listens. Even when he's on a trip.
Oh no! I think wasn't it last week when I was swearing on the radio. We were actively getting text messages from Tommy and other members of the YDSA yelling at us. Yeah, no, it was so good. I think Emerson made a joke about people getting assassinated, and it was just I was just yeah, it's fine. He was just no, that's cool. Heck yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay, I promise that I will not call for anyone else's assassination. I will not swear. I haven't swore this whole episode. I was close a couple of times, but
I was too. Sometimes it just be like that.
Sometimes I just forget that we're actually recording a radio show.
I know, for the listeners, a lot of this has really just felt like our yap sessions.
Oh yeah, I mean the last 5 minutes have literally just been us yapping.
It's been a yap sesh. But we'll get back to your regularly scheduled politics next week, where Tommy and I will be talking about the next craziest things that are happening in the world, because it has not stopped. I don't think it's gonna stop. Next thing you know, Jimmy Carter is gonna make a presidential run, and the corpse of Ronald Reagan is gonna try to replace J.D. Vance as the vice president. Something's gonna happen, so we'll be back with all the crazy stuff. Oh, yeah. What's the running joke? It's this season of America has been crazy or something. Yeah, this season of America has been crazy. Yeah, something along those lines.